incredible.
Right, rest in peace, Rib Shack, by the way. That's some Saginaw stuff for y'all.
What happens when we get the third yacht?
You already know what time it is, man.
Yes, and gang.
And gang.
People decide to sit outside of my window and practice their DJ sets.
Look who you talking to. It's Olafume.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to this episode of Hustling with Harges. I'm Courtney, a theater maker, sewist, knitter, nonprofit strategist, and certified TV nerd. And I'm here with my co-creator and real-life sibling.
What's good, family? I'm Tyrone, motion designer, 3D artist, animator, self-proclaimed king of the nerds, and card-carrying film snob. And yes, I am the younger sibling, which means I bring the innovation and the petty. This podcast is our creative living room, a space for deep convos, pop culture mess, entrepreneurial chaos, and sibling joy.
Whether you're a maker, a dreamer, a burnt-out artist, or just nosy, this show is for you. Let's build something dope together.
So pull up, subscribe, text your cousin, and let's get into Hustling with the Harges. Big dog Courtney, how are you doing?
I am great. I am always happy to be, I guess, a big dog. I think I've leaned
big
into
dog.
What up. Yeah, no, I'm doing pretty well. Where's my head at? It's, a good day. It's all I got. It's a good day. Making it work. Happy to be here. I have my coffee, which always makes me a better person. And
shout out to September for the coffee.
Always. September, the unofficial sponsor of Hustling with Harges.
Yes.
Although, we down for an official sponsorship. Somebody's out here. It's unofficial for the moment, but official, we'll take it. But we are powered by September coffee for real.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling a series of possibilities. I'm hearing a lot of excellent weekend morning activity outside.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
Who knows? Yeah. So who knows? Maybe, our listeners will hear some of what's happening.
Hey, maybe our listeners outdoors are some of the people who are making the noise.
It could be. Good for them. Tyrone, how are you doing?
I'm in a really great space right now. I just feel very good. I feel very blessed. And
blessed and highly favored.
Highly favored. And filled with a lot of gratitude. I've taken the time to feel grateful for the position that I am in and the life that I get to live. The things I get to do. I get to just dream and create. And that's what I get to do. And it's very fun.
Come on, gratitude.
And it's very nice. But I understand that I am very grateful and I'm very lucky to be able to do this.
Yes, gratitude. Yes, thankfulness.
Yes.
I hear you. Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm glad. We're feeling good. I know we've had it's been a struggle, and that's not to say that there aren't struggles coming, but it's nice to be in a good space today. Feeling feeling a positive energy, as it were.
Positive energy.
Yeah. So I'm excited for us to talk this week because I enjoy us talking, but also we're talking about on waiting. Like today's this episode's really going to be about waiting, and particularly what do you do when the thing you're supposed to be doing is waiting. Like you've submitted the thing, you've submitted the thing, you've done the audition, you've done the moment, you've done the execution, and part of it is now you got to wait for either feedback, responses, edits, whatever. The doing thing that you're doing is waiting.
This is a third of my life.
That's what we're doing. So we're going to talk.
Just waiting.
We're definitely going to talk about that. But before we get into the main moment, before we get into the meat, we're going to start with our sibling shout outs. Let's do it. All right. Tyrone, do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right, let's do it.
Siblings of the week are saviors, winners, who've also had to do a lot of waiting, lots of trials and tribulations. It is Katara and Sokka of the Southern Water Tribe.
Yes, and gang.
And gang. Or the gang, if you will, 2 A's.
And gang. Got it.
But I think they fit really well with our theme this week. They had to do a lot of waiting. They had to learn so much do and understand, find a world that they thought they knew that they don't know. Katara and Sokka are peak siblings.
Excellent siblings. I loved their dynamic because, again, ride or die for each other. It's clearly one of my favorite sibling dynamics, but also could so easily get sick of each other's shit in ways that was
quickly
like, look, dude, I will come save you from anything, but don't talk to me right now. Okay.
Like, you gotta sit on the back of Appa. Okay. Don't talk to me right now.
Don't talk to me right now.
I will water whip you off this.
And I love that. Deep love, like the doubt of their sibling connection, there just isn't any. But sometimes it's like, I need you to be on the other side of this mythical forest we're in for whatever reason. It does just go.
Because I will drown you in midair.
Just be out, right? Do whatever you want to do as long as the thing you want to do is not talk to me, because I can't do that. We'll be back. But right now, no.
I can't do that today. Not right now.
Amazing. That's right. Like, we could do a lot. Save the world. We got it. Share a meal with him. Check me out tomorrow. Check me tomorrow. We'll be back. But right now, I don't want to deal with him. And that is...
deal with him.
I love it. Yes. Fantastic. Yes, and gang. Let's do it. Yes. My sibling shout outs, also fictional, but just fantastic. And they are Hillary Carlton and Ashley Banks from The Fresh Prince.
The
Bankses. Excellent siblings. Also, I realize I'm ultimately leaving out little Nicky as the fourth.
Oh, yes.
Sibling, but he's there. But that's, happy he was there. Glad Ross Bagley Jr. got that work as a youth.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the main three and why I love them so much. Now, this is going to sound a bit surprising we already got to anti-capitalism. This is where we are in my capitalism rant, but I love, because somebody decided to sit out there and rev their engine for a second. And I was just like, great. So I love Hillary Carlton and Ashley for a variety of reasons. One, just hilarious, right? Excellent portrayals. Like the Carlton dance is still in our lexicon, right? Shout out to Karen Parsons, Alfonso Ribeiro, and Tatiana Ali, all just making great things. But I loved that their portrayal was still very grounded in Blackness, but also grounded in wealth, kind of in an entitled way.
Yes.
In contrast to The Cosby Show, which has its own problems, but showed a specific type of Black wealth that was positive, like regardless of the people, and also R.I.P. Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Oh, I can't even think about it.
Not ready. But talking about The Cosby Show as a show, not as its creator and
it's
all
just
of that.
As an entity.
But as the siblings, like the Cosby siblings, were very much about we are Black and upper middle class, but we are kind of unimpacted or frankly indifferent to wealth. It just, we have it, but it is not a thing that impacts our personalities. I love Hillary Carlton and Ashley because they were Black rich kids.
They were in Bel Air.
In Bel Air. Like, the idea that wealth was a part of who they were in a way that wasn't apologetic. That wasn't, no, we are rich. That's what we do. I mean, the opening, Daddy, can I have $300?
That's how we're introduced.
Hi, Daddy, can I have $300?
That's how we're introduced to the world.
It's amazing. And like, it was hilarious because them having a lot of money was always the thing that impacted them. And like recognizing it was supposed to be, the fish out of water, the contrast of like Will Smith's kid from the hood versus the rich kids. But this idea of a Black wealth that wasn't, I don't want to say aspirational, and it wasn't aspirational in the sense of they weren't striving for wealth. Like the other contrast is like George Jefferson, where there was always a sense of like they had the wealth, but it was very much a like, I am striving to get there.
Yeah.
And even, Florence's classic interests, we're seeing like so many Black people in the penthouse. It's like, how come we came up and nobody told me? Like, this sense of like distance, like we are climbing into this space. The Banks kids lived there. It's like, where else would we be? Wealth is who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know nothing else. What we do. Right.
I don't know nothing else.
And so I just like that as a narrative choice.
Yeah.
Because it was very much like, no, we are rich, and having access to this money has made us different, but not anti-Black.
Never. I tell you, that's one of my favorite things is from the later season, and I know we're kind of going off this tangent, is in the later season when one of Philip's like activist friends comes in, and they basically calls him like an Uncle Tom because he got all this money. And he goes, don't forget who you're talking to. It's Olafume, okay? Like, I was there. In the streets. I was there. He goes, but I have a family now, so I got to take care of them. And I made all types of change inside these offices. And it was just, you forget how big Philip is. And then he stands up. You're like, right. Oh, God.
That's also Rosalind Cash
that's who that is.
Amazing. So good. It's an excellent arc, but I just like that this idea of being, as opposed to kind of being neutral on the amount of money they have, they were very much into the amount of money they have in a way that also wasn't about shitting on other Black people.
Not at all.
Fantastic.
Did you call their parents?
Great. Our sibling shout-outs. Huh?
I just remember when they get arrested. Did you call their parents? No, because we're their parents. Did you call their lawyer? No,
because I'm their lawyer. Yes. Also, R.I.P. James Avery.
Oh my God.
Talking about Gone Too Soon.
Talk about Gone Too Soon. Rest in peace to the shredder.
Right. So just so many great things. James Avery gave us so much. So yeah, our shout outs are the Banks siblings and Katara and Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This also is day 7 of our dynamic duo of dynamic duos. This is where we count down how many days it takes us to get one of our peak sibling duos in this chair, in this interview seat. And they are Debbie Allen and Felicia Rashad, and Willow and Jaden Smith. And so day 7 of us putting it out into the universe. Day 7 of us asking for them to join us. And we, at some point, will get to talk to both, either one, all of them. Also, shout out to Felicia Rashad, just especially on The Gilded Age. I've been watching that. I've never seen a bad Felicia Rashad performance. I've gotten to see her live.
That's a fact.
I've gotten to see her live a few times. And just watching the work she's doing on The Gilded Age is phenomenal. She's just so good. And, day 7, we got there. Happy to celebrate. And they'll get here. They'll come to us.
They'll get here.
Right.
And, but you know what time it is. It's time for the meat and potatoes of the show. It's time for that good old main moment.
Now is the time for the main moment, the part of the show where we dig a little deeper. Whether it's creativity, culture, chaos, or care, this is where we pull the thread and see what unravels. The focus of this main moment is, something we've called thriving in chaos, where we really try to talk about like the hard things. How do we stay positive when it gets hard in the world? And our focus, as I said earlier, is really about waiting. About what it means to wait, waiting sometimes for your big break, or waiting for, like, again, you submitted the thing, or you had the audition, or, you sometimes, like, when I'm sewing, you gotta, like, let something hang for a second to see how it settles, to see if it'll still fit, or if, making something for somebody, sometimes, like, you gotta send it, does it fit on them? And so it's this idea of, like, you've done the work, whatever the thing to execute is. You've done the thing, and now you have to wait. Your process is just like being present while whatever the next phase is happens, kind of without you. And so we wanted to talk about what the experience of waiting is, particularly like emotionally. Like, how does it feel? What do we do to take care of ourselves in this space? So our first question, we can come out the gate hot, is how do you know the difference between productive waiting and stalling? Tyrone, what you got?
This is a big one there, Chief. As a 3D artist, waiting is a part of the process. And we just call waiting rendering. It's a part of the process.
Hilarious.
You have to wait. Sometimes you're waiting. I watched a video of a 2-minute fight scene. It's fully done in 3D by this small team in Malaysia, and extremely detailed. It's a lot. I'm going to say a lot of words for people who might not understand things, but it's like skin simulations, muscle simulations, cloth sims, sweat, lighting, fog, all the things that make really great animation. For one frame of animation, it took 100 hours.
That's a lot of hours.
To render
that's not
frame.
no hours.
100.
That's just over 5 days.
That's just over 5 days for a frame.
Sorry, just over 4 days.
Now, mind you, it's 24 frames for 1 second of animation.
And I'm out.
Right? So waiting is built into the profession. But there is productive waiting, which is rendering and such. And then I think stalling comes in the disguise of tweaking. I think tweaking things. I think, moving things, moving sliders left and right, just minuscule amounts that don't bring any real change to the look. I think that's stalling, and I am definitely guilty of stalling, thinking I'm doing something productive. But the difference for me is day and night. It's like, okay, I walk away from my computer, productive waiting, or I have moved this slider 8 times and have seen no real change. But I think there's change in there. That's stalling.
That's real. Hearing that made me think of this thing that I'm going to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I definitely just Googled because I had a vague sense of it. But the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. And the idea is that 20% of your activity is responsible for 80% of the results. And I'd heard that, but I had to find the details while you were talking. But it's real in that, like, I think there's kind of another version of this rule where it's just like that last 20% is both the hardest and in some ways I think kind of the least impactful. And I don't mean the like final 20%, like the last, like getting something to the finish line, like you have to push it through. But I feel like we do, like, I will speak for a bit of my process or my understanding, but a lot of times we do, like, there's this big push of effort where the thing is almost done. And then you just like kind of sit in that last 10 to 20% of work where you're like, okay, I have to close this loop. I have to follow this. I have to hit texture and lighting and the thing. And you get through it and you're like, you can stay in that last, like you said, the tweaking space, or stay in that last 20% of working for just like way too long. And it's like, because you don't necessarily know, you don't want to release it for whatever reason. You're like, I don't even know if it's actually finished, or I don't know what I don't know how to name it as finished or as not finished. And I think there is just something to be said about that, because I definitely have done that. For me, I'm kind of lucky in that many of the art pieces or art practices I have, or my creative practices, have kind of instant, in quotes, results. In that when you're sewing clothes, like, you cut it, you sew it together, it's a dress. Like, I don't have to necessarily wait. Like, there is hanging stuff to, sometimes you have to steam it. Sometimes it's like waiting for the materials to get together. Sewing does have a lot of prep, but it is in many ways, it's a very active prep where you have to measure and cut and sew. So like it has a lot of active prep, but not as much like stillness. And like, the other things I really do is theater, where it's just like, yes, there's a lot of waiting for an audience. There's a lot of rehearsal. Again, it's I have deep preparation, but once the thing is out there, that's it. The audience is either with it or they aren't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to.
Yeah,
I don't have as much waiting.
I totally know what you mean. Like watching it, at least from a 3D standpoint, watching it already textured and rendered while you're making it is I think it cuts a lot of the waiting down. Like you obviously still have to wait because, I've seen you like block stuff and it's just drying and magic happens. I don't really know what happens with it, but with on the 3D side, there is like, okay, so here's all the technical stuff first, which could take days to do.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, great. Now we're moving on to the lighting part. Now we're moving on to the atmosphere part. And now we hit the render button and you walk away. And it could still, even with all of that, it could still take, like you said, like we saw 100 hours. You could do all that work and be 100 hours and then something go wrong. Then you want to blow up your computer.
Yeah, I like to watch creative people doing creative things. And so I've kind of accidentally followed a bunch of potters and ceramicists. And somebody said that kilns are in many ways the ceramic god, and that you do all this work, you create this thing, you dry it and wait and dry it and have all the steps and do all the magic. And then you just offer it to the kiln, turn it on, and then hope it survives it. In some ways it's just such a very it really is in many ways a judgment, because if you didn't get rid of all the water, if you didn't dry if you didn't make the thing thick enough or thin enough, if you didn't trim, if you didn't whatever, it can go wrong in a variety of ways. And so viewing the kiln itself as the god of ceramics, where you have to offer it, give your offering to it, wait, and then open it up to see if they accepted your offering or not, right? Is kind of it. Did it survive?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why. That's a reason why Kiln is a city in fucking Epic Flower Sack. Kiln is a city in Epic Flower Sack that you have to bring an offering to. You can't. They don't open up for everybody. Did you bring something?
Right. Okay. You got it. And so I do see the difference between waiting productively and stalling, and part of it is really making sure that you're letting it out into the world, whatever the thing is, or that you're not just holding on to it to basically kind of wait for feedback. Sometimes I feel you get into that last 20%, or you're into this tweaking and you are stalling because you just don't want the world to respond to it.
Absolutely. I think what a lot of people, and I won't say mistake, but what they interpret as waiting is actually fear. You're no, because if I just keep tweaking, it'll be better. But it's better by the standards that you're kind of putting out, that you don't have a decent rubric of. You just have these standards and expectations that you have made.
Yeah, and it's kind of better in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Where you're just I've made this idea of what better is. And again, I'm not saying artists can't trust their instincts. We talked about artists having their own discernment. You got to know what it is. But then there's a moment where it has to go out into the world in some way. And one of the things I think can get really dangerous in this waiting period is that folks are well, if I do this, then these are all the things that will happen for me. Mm-hmm. And then they get really resentful because they poured their heart and soul into a thing that the world was it's right? Fine. And, or, the money and the accolades or all the opportunities didn't show up. And then all of a sudden they're people just don't appreciate me. Yeah. And it could be that people don't get it. I understand that. But a lot of times people use the waiting to try to avoid the risk that is exposure, that's being seen, that's being perceived. Yeah.
Using the waiting to avoid the risk.
Yeah. It's just not ready yet. I just can't. And it might not be, but there's no version of this that's not going to be scary. There's no version of the release into the world that's not going to be ripe for possibility of both good and bad.
There are things going on in the production of Epic Flower Sack right now that are very good, but also very much kind of in the wind. And hearing you say that there is no version of this where it's not scary is extremely relaxing to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do think in the artists I've worked with, and I'm included in this measure, I've thought about this. I do the thing where like, I think sometimes we are waiting for, I'm trying to think of, I wish I had a better sound, but like in some ways we're thinking of the like level complete sound when we've gotten something done when it's ready. Yeah. Right? Where it's like the thing and like, it's like we were working on a project and like there's a moment where it's like, all right, the flag goes up and the song plays and then there's little fireworks if you did it right. Right?
Yeah.
And that never happens.
No.
Like done isn't like a state where it's like, oh yeah, this is finished or this is right or this is done well enough to get all the things you think you want to do. Like it really is about, have I taken all the advice that I need or have I have I gone through the proper channels? Have I done the things I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where you're like, all right, and done is a decision at that point.
That's the thing I don't think people get. I think people think done is a destination.
Right.
While done is actually a decision.
Done
You're
is
cooking today, man. We just started. But
done, right? But like done is a decision. You're like, okay, this has to be done enough. This is ready to go out into the world. And sometimes it is like not working on this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like I've given it all I can. How do I feel about it? I don't even know how I feel about it anymore. But it's gotten what I need.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to release it out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I have a question for you.
Let's do it.
Do you fill the waiting time with other work or intentional resting?
There's an answer I want to say, and then there's the answer that I do. Right?
Same.
I would love to say intentionally rest. I would also, frankly, love to say that I fill it effectively with other work. My problem is I feel like I do the worst parts of both, which is planning to work on something that I don't ever really start. You know, I have a bunch of like, ooh, I think I could do that, or I could do this. And I'm like, not necessarily being active. I'm going to be real with y'all. We family, we in here. I like feel like I hit this like stagnant space. Like I've talked about this. I haven't really gotten to sew in a minute. I've been working on some like drawing things, which I'm probably going to talk about later. But I really do feel like I haven't like jumped into another project. I'm waiting for some things to flesh out. And so I'm like stuck in a stillness that isn't either productive nor restful.
That is so unfortunate.
Like, and again, being the realist, like I can say something different, but the truth, the fact of the matter is I am kind of stuck in. Right. But yes, stuck in this like space that again is neither productive nor restful, where I like have some half finished projects. I have some things I have to get started. I don't even have to do that. I should get started. Probably it would motivate me. I would probably feel better if I just started doing some things. And so a lot of times I do try to fill that with other work. I'm always trying something creative or interesting or new. I'm always thinking about new things to try, but have I like intentionally like sat down and done things that are restorative? Not quite. And or have I intentionally found like a new creative practice that I'm putting my energy in? Also not quite. How about you, Ty?
I also feel like I'm not doing the intentional resting. And the work that I do feel with doesn't feel productive, but it feels creatively inspiring. So like while I'm waiting for something, I'll work on another project that I'm working on, or like I'll flesh out a project that I had an idea for, or I'll tweak something within the project that I'm currently working on. Like there's always something to do, but I do feel like I should be using that time to rest, because I'm not. And not in the sense that I need to rest. Like I'm definitely not working as hard as I was, but I could probably be working a little less.
Couldn't we all? Couldn't we all?
Who among us?
Who among us?
Shout out to Keita Thompson, man. So good.
Fantastic. Which of your creative disciplines
has
the most hurry up and wait moments?
It's 3D without even without even trying. It's
not
3D.
even.
It's 3D. It's like probably like a close second is like graphic design, waiting for like feedback or approvals when I was working for corporate. Like it's 100% 3D. It's you do the thing, you push the button, and now you just have to sit here and wait.
Real.
And watch pot don't boil. So you got to go do something else.
You got to do it. No,
you got to go do something else.
That's real. Like, again, like I said, I'm in a lot of kind of, there we go.
Yes.
So, I'm in a lot of disciplines that are in many ways like self-propelled. I push them forward, and even theater is definitely a hurry up and wait space, particularly as the productions get bigger and you need more and more collaborators. So it's like, all right, how do we get the team together? When do we hold auditions? All right, this is 6 months away. This is the work they have to be doing like on their own, to be learning lines and doing whatever, coordinating travel. Like, it can be very, all right, I have a job months out. So now I have to figure out what I'm doing right now if I don't have another job currently, and then plan and be ready for the job that's on its way out, right? Knitting is, in some ways, hurry up and wait, like stitch by stitch, sweater by sweater. Like you get to it's generally, it can be anywhere from like, and for me, I think the shortest I've done a sweater has been 5 weeks. And I don't think I'm a particularly fast knitter. There are people who are much faster, but there's one that's taken me 3 months. Some scarves I worked on for years, just like pick up, do a few stitches at a time and go. And so in some ways there's always something to do, but there is definitely a bit of hurry up and wait from like, I've conceived a project to I'm finishing a project. Like, one of the hard parts about sweater knitting, I think, is sometimes there's a moment in that last 80% where sweaters get really heavy and hot because they're sitting on your lap and you're holding them. And so it's great to have a nice September sweater, but you don't necessarily want to be knitting a sweater in August because it's like, get off me. Just, it's hot. Like,
I never thought about that.
Right? Because at that point, in many ways, it can be a puppy because you have just a big ball you have all of the yarn that you've knit up to this point sitting on your lap trying to knit. But if it's hot outside, like that sweater is going to be perfect the second it gets cold. But right now, while I'm making it, it's not. And so then there are moments where like, okay, what is the timing, right? And sometimes because it can take a long time, like you want to knit some of your winter things in the summer because you want them ready for winter, right? And lastly, there is that you mentioned blocking. So blocking in knitting is where you either steam or soak your project and then you lay it out to dry. Generally, you can use things like blocking pins and wires particularly to let it dry into a particular shape. And that can sometimes take a while. Like, a heavy sweater laying flat drying can take a few days. But like a shawl can sometimes take, you can do it overnight sometimes. It just depends. But it also is like a way to, like when you start a shawl, when you take a shawl or something off of your knitting needles, like it really does look like just a ball of wrinkly yarn. Like you can see the pretty in it, but like it's a giant knot. It's a series of knots together. So it's all squished and you don't always see the beauty. You have to have some imagination. And I do like that, like the blocking is a great moment because it in those ways, it turns into the thing that you've been imagining for however many weeks you've been working on it. And so that's nice because the waiting is like, I did all the work. If I did it the way I wanted to, once it's dry, I'm going to actually see all of that work, but you don't necessarily see it like immediately. And, sewing, I like partially because of its immediacy. There is very little waiting. The waiting is in getting the supplies, getting the yarn, getting the things. Like the waiting is like pulling the materials together. But kind of once you have everything, you just do.
Now, that's interesting because since everything is digital in my discipline, once you have everything and you're doing, that's actually the longest part. Like getting things, if you can build things, that adds to it. I don't have the skill currently to like build a lot of stuff. So I get a lot of like, I'll get a lot of models and things like that, but which cuts my time down. But some people are like, no, it's faster for me to build it than it is for me to search for what I'm looking for. And that's a skill that I've always thought. But that feels like another like hurry up and wait moment where it's like, okay, I have to scroll through 4 or 5 different websites to find what I need. And then I find what I need and now I can start working.
Yeah, I have the opposite issue, which is like, it is the sourcing of the things that can be hard. Especially now, RIP Joanne Fabric. I think like a lot of the fabric patterns are the pattern. They might be going out like it's an interesting moment right now, but it is like part of the process is gathering materials. Do I have enough yarn? Do I have the right type of yarn? Is it the right weight for this thing? Or do I have the right fabric to do the thing? It is one of the reasons why I've bought more fabric than I can use. I'm going to use it. Nobody come for me. It's mine. I bought it. But it is one of the reasons why when I'm looking at something new, I really do try to see what can I make with what I already have. Because the number of sewing patterns I own is an obscene number that I won't share, especially since they're digital. I know the number. I won't share that yet. Anyway, although if somebody guesses, if you believe in this, like we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'll send somebody a sticker, some type of internet accolade, if you can guess how many sewing patterns I have.
I was going to say something. There's a thing that I would love to introduce you to, and it is this program called Marvelous Designer. And Marvelous Designer is a 3D sewing software where you make clothes using digital patterns in 3D. It's how they do all the clothing in games and movies.
We may have to play around with that because
I think you'd really love it. It's very cool. I will show you that. It's very fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll look at it. But what was I saying? So yes, gathering materials feels like a hurry up and wait because like if I don't have the right zipper for a thing, then I can't make that dress today. So I got to go find it. Or if it's like, all right, well you need buttons. The buttons you can adjust it, but sometimes it's like the buttons can need to be this size or that size. Like, and it's also why. I'm sure, Tyrone can tell you around like all the mess around my sewing studio, but it's also why I buy packs of things because, if I like this pattern and this pattern requires like an 8 to 10 inch zipper, then I'm going to buy a pack of 28 to 10 inch zippers. Right. Not necessarily each time, but it's like, okay, if I want to make this pattern again, I have it, or somebody else will probably want something similar. Right. Or, buttons, you just start collecting bits and bobs because you never quite know what the pattern is going to need. And then you need the things to finish it. And one of the things I like doing really is figuring out like of the materials I have or what can I do, like putting things together.
That's very cool. Cool.
It's fun.
And here's a fun question.
Okay.
If you could have a waiting room montage song playing in real life, what would it be?
I feel like the obvious answer here, as I said, is Final Countdown. Yeah. But I'm going to think about it for a second. What do I want? I'll let it ruminate. Okay. I don't know if this is an appropriate song in the sense of like, it's just a song that like lets the time pass for me. And I've kind of come back to it, which is Sunday Candy by... I don't think he calls himself Donnie Trumpet in in whatever anymore. But with Chance and all of that, like I've just been in that song. I was like, that song was just so. What I like about that song and why I think it's my good waiting room montage song is because it really is a song, especially for Chance, where you hear the possibility. You hear the energy is like you kind of hear what's coming. Even though we don't know what's coming, like and I wish I had a better way to explain it, but like the energy of that song is just like, I'm young, I'm doing the thing that I love, I'm having a great moment. It's like everything kind of got together and you can hear what becomes Coloring Book. You can hear what becomes, like you just kind of hear the possibility. And like, I like that type of energy. I like a song that is where you're like, oh, right, he's going to be a star.
Yeah.
in that you can hear the future in that song in some ways that I really enjoy. And so, yeah, that's the type of energy I want in my waiting room montage song.
My waiting room montage song is definitely Sam's Vibe by Duran Bernard. It's very chill. It's super cool. It's, the song starts, "Did you smoke today? Have you yet put something in your stomach?" Or have you yet put something in your stomach? Like, are you eating? How are you? What is your vibe? Like, let's relax for a little bit. It's very much, I knew it was going to be a Duran Bernard song, but I did not know what song it was, but it's definitely Sam's Vibe for sure.
Amazing.
Oh, I love that
so
song
good.
so much. Oh,
Duran
man.
Bernard is killing it out here.
Killing it.
Well, I think we're ready then to merge into a new segment, Tyrone.
New segment?
I know, 7 episodes in. I'm sure y'all are like, how many segments are there? We have so many. We have so many ideas. But this one we're really excited about. And so our new segment is Learning Edges. So Learning Edges is where we level up one awkward step at a time. It's the part of the show where we share what we're learning, how it's going, and all the wins and faceplants along the way. We really wanted to share with you all, like, what it means to be in process on stuff, like what we want to learn, what we're trying. We like to hit a tutorial. We do, Tyrone and I do sit and watch all the media all the time, but we also are constantly trying and figuring out new things. And as opposed to just being like, oh, this is the thing we figured out. Let's talk about what we're learning and where we're learning it in real time.
You hit the nail on the head. I am constantly looking at tutorials. Constantly. I watch them like I watch movies. Like, I'm watching hours of tutorials. The thing I'm currently looking at is this visual effects course by this 3D artist named, his name is Rez, but he goes by Voxd for voxel, which is like a big thing in 3D. And he has a major website, voxd.com, VOXYDE.com. And he has courses, both free and paid courses, on specifically Houdini and the 3D visual effects things that Houdini is capable of. And it has been instrumental to me as an artist. It is extremely helpful. It's like 40 hours per course. He breaks down everything. It's extremely helpful. It's made me understand what it is to be a production ready visual effects artist. And I feel every day I work in Houdini, I feel more and more confident in the program, because it's a daunting program. There's so much to do, and there's no hand holding. There are a lot of like, okay, here you go, dude, make the thing now. And he has an intro to Houdini. He has an intro to, Pyro, intro to like rigid, like destruction, an intro to particles, volumes, like all the things. And then and those are all free, and they're like 2 hours. And you can just go to his website and you can just watch those. And he has like free like project courses. Like there's one where you can learn how to make your own Patronus, which is very cool, which is the thing I'm gonna figure out how to do.
That's kind of awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Although it is fuck J.K. Rowling for real.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
I just want to be really clear. That's important. That's important. We know that on record. Yes.
But I've been really that's like the first thing I open up, and then I'm like locked in for like 2-3 hours. I love it.
That's awesome. I find it super fascinating. I do like to watch the tutorials. I love watching people learn things. I love like engaging just in new information. I feel like it like creates great new wrinkly ridges in my brain. Just in there, it's like neural pathways. But my current learning edge right now is I'm trying to get into digital illustration. And like, I will say part of what is why I'm so hesitant about that is to like live with who I consider real artists. Like, I'm not a visual. I feel like I don't see the world with a visual lens. And I wish that, I know that maybe doesn't make sense because I do very much actually see. My eyes work mostly looking at the glasses. But what I mean is, like, you know, people like my brain, I think we've talked about this, like the way I process information is kind of in an understanding and or language based way. I do better when I'm talking about the thing or reading about the thing. It's hard for me to see like individual pieces of the world. Like, it's something I kind of always admire filmmakers where they're like, oh, they see all the things, like each piece, you know, where every person is, everything that's in that frame you can understand. And what I get is an understanding of the frame, right? I understand the whole thing. But if somebody's like, did you see like that lamp over there? I generally have to go back and watch and see it again and be like, oh, I see that there. I understood the room was lit, right? I understood what the people's relationship was, but like I didn't see the like how that frame mirrored this other thing. Like, that's not how I work. But so knowing that like I don't understand the world in pictures, I've always been fascinated about the capacity to draw and to make particularly illustrations. I really like illustrations and texture design. Not texture, sorry. Typography, text. Design, those types of things. I like, typographic posters and stuff. I do. And I love to experience visual art, but I also recognize I don't feel like I'm good at it. And I live with people, namely, Tyrone, who is a filmmaker, visual artist in that way. And one of my partners is an amazing portrait artist working largely in oils. He has some great art. And so then there's me who comes in and draw on like stick figures. And I'm like, but I want to do more. So my learning edge really has been in working in digital illustration, but really with an eye toward surface and textile design. Like my dream is to kind of design some fabric that I then turn into a dress I made or an outfit I made. Like, I'm trying to like see what it would be to make like a dope plaid that is mine and then like build a suit out of it or something like that. I just, I'm trying to learn. Yeah.
I love that so much.
I think it'd be so cool. But I'm trying to just get into digital illustration with the concept of like working toward surface design. And by that, like the fun patterns that appear on like your water bottles or on your phone cases or stuff, like on surfaces, those types of repeating patterns. And textiles that can be, anything from actual wallpaper to fabric.
Titan of industry.
Titan of industry. But I always look at it and like, I feel like I have a really good eye for like color. I love really bright things. And a lot of my, and the compliments I get on my clothes are not just about, they look cool and all, but I'm good at playing around with how patterns like fit on the body and how colors go together in ways that people don't necessarily consider. And so I want to just turn that into like, what would that mean to like generate my own thing? What would it do? And again, all of my creative mediums have very much been about reflections of my extroversion. So it's like, what do I do to talk to people? What do I do to be seen with people? What do I do to like,
yes,
that's external. And so I view illustration and or drawing and visual art as a means to have an internal process. How do I get what's going on inside into something visual? And I find it really hard, but fun.
Why do you think it's hard?
I don't know why it's hard. It just is. Like, I wish it's hard for me to like you said, because my brain doesn't process things visually. So I have to like consciously be like, what shape is that? Because like my brain looks at a building and it's like
giant rectangle.
Right. Like the way, my brain works. It's like, that's a building. And drawing is like, no, that's a rectangle. Or is it even a rectangle?
Yeah.
Is it like, a dome? What are the window shapes? So it's hard because I have to like, in some ways it's like I'm really good at seeing the forest. And now it's like, okay, but what is that individual tree? And my brain is like, bitch, what is you doing? That's not how you get it. And I think,
why is you here?
Just you here. Because I think one of the things that has made me, one of the skills that I think I've been most employed for is kind of really quick, full understanding, right? Where I can see a bunch of things and like, I'm good at like in chaos. Like if there's a bunch of things going a bunch of ways, I can like look at it and my brain, like Minority Report style, shorts it, sets it down, right? And that's a skill that I enjoy having, but, and has, I think, gotten me through a lot of things in my career where my brain can see a bunch of information at once and source it. And again, gets to a deep understanding fairly quickly. Drawing forces me to have to look at each thing and see how those elements are playing together. And my brain is like, but we like already solved the puzzle. In some ways, actually,
Yes.
That's the metaphor, where it's like, I'm good at seeing all the pieces, seeing the puzzle. Now I see the full picture. And drawing is like, okay, but what, you have to like undo a puzzle piece by piece, right? And my brain is like, but we put the puzzle together. I don't understand. I don't understand why we're doing this, but this is the way. And so, yeah. And so I've been looking at just a variety of tutorials as well. But I'm really working in Affinity Designer. I really like Affinity, which I kind of got a few years ago just as an alternative to Photoshop because I didn't necessarily want to be in the deep Photoshop subscription culture. And we are in other ways, but I was like, especially since I'm a casual illustrator or a casual player in it, I was like, I don't know if I can do a monthly subscription here, but I do want something that has like the tools. And so I've just been on YouTube following all the Affinity spaces, and I've been watching people like, there's a dude whose name I can't remember, but who has made a peach that I've watched him make like 4 times.
Oh yeah. Oh,
because I'm like
that.
trying to just like, oh, right, these are the pieces. This is how this goes. And so, yeah, so my learning edges is really about trying to get into surface and pattern design.
Fantastic. Incredible.
Incredible. Shout out to Cloudward Ho, Dimension 20.
Yes.
Lou just playing Montgomery La Montgomery.
La Montgomery. Best
one of
name
my favorite
in the
characters.
world.
Right, one of my favorite characters of all time. But just the way he says incredible, it's like
Incredible.
Incredible. And there's so many different ways. Classic. Watch. I know we probably do a different dropout shout in a different way every time, but watch Dimension 20, watch Lou Wilson be Montgomery La Montgomery, watch Cloudward Ho. It's so good.
It's fantastic. It's in fact incredible. And
incredible.
So stupid. Oh. You know what time it is now, Court.
It is. It's that time. It's the real time. It's the deep time. It's showtime.
It is showtime. It is time for work hard, play hard.
Work hard, play hard, baby.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes, yes. We're still sticking with this, like, waiting. Like, what is waiting? But more in, like, the tactical ways of waiting. How do you wait in your process? So I have a couple questions, question that I would like to start with is, how do you use waiting time to set the table for the next phase of your project?
That's a great question. Well, one of the ways I said, and get to go back to like either sewing or knitting is like in buying, it's like, okay, this project needs X. So it's buttons or yarn of this type or whatever. Let me take like 5 to 10 minutes and think 2 or 3 projects ahead. Right. So like, for example, if I'm buying yarn for a sweater or buying yarn for a shawl, is there the next shawl that might be able to get me like, I don't know, whatever deal or free shipping or something like that, right? Which is, so I'm not necessarily, and sometimes, yes, I have a bit more yarn than I need some days, looking a little bit at my stash. But sometimes it's like, okay, well, as opposed to making like 4 little purchases over a 2-month period, sometimes it's like, all right, I'm going to buy the yarn for this thing right now. Or if I need thread or fabric or something making this purchase, is there something else I need to purchase that I need immediately, but I know I'm probably also going to need in the future? And so sometimes it really is just taking a moment to see what are the things that I'm thinking about. And I don't overcommit, but it is like, all right, this is what I'm buying for this thing right now, or this is what I need to gather. These are the resources I need to get for what I'm doing right now. What is the way I may need it for the next project or the project after?
Now that makes a lot of sense too, where you're just like, I want to say buying in bulk, but probably not so much buying in bulk, but like buying what you need per project and looking ahead at, okay, if I want to do this 8 months from now and I can get $20 worth of fabric for $10, we just gonna buy $40 worth of fabric.
Right. Yeah. Like sometimes it's like that. Or I will shout out another place that I really like. It's Fabric Mart. They're based out of Pennsylvania. They have a really great online shop. I've bought so much fabric from them.
I love it.
So much. But they have like a daily deal. Well, they have different categories of fabric that are alphabetized. And so like frequently it's like A through G will be this, and then H through whatever will be these. And like things like, like denim is in D and like silk is in S and whatever. And so sometimes they'll just literally just break up the alphabet and be like, middle of the alphabet's on sale today. What y'all got?
That's awesome.
And so sometimes it's like, okay, I talk about suits because it really is like one of my big project dreams that I haven't quite gotten to is making a suit. I've made jackets, I've made coats, I've made almost all of the pieces of a suit, but I have not
like made a full suit.
Made a full suit yet. Right. But I do know I want to do that. Right. And so when I'm shopping for fabric, like I would be on Fabric Mart and I would look for wool, because a wool suit is a wool suit. And so it's great. And so it's like, okay, well, if we're which day of the week around, all right, I know I want wool at some point to make this suit. So when the wool is on sale, I look and, blue is my favorite color. So sometimes, and they do, Fabric Mart does what is called mostly dead stock. If you're unfamiliar with dead stock, audience. So big fashion houses, fabric printers, whatever, they all make sometimes sample fabrics, or sometimes they just make runs and they don't use all of it.
Okay.
Right? Like, or sometimes like there's a fabric print that you see in store and they made 4 different colors to test. 2 of the colors got made into garments that were sold, but the 2 other colors didn't. What happens? Like a lot of times that fabric can be sent to like landfills or whatever. Dead stock is where that excess fabric, where like the printer doesn't want it anymore, or again, that print is old, so they just have extra, they aren't going to make anything out of it, can go to fabric resellers because it's not going to be made again. It was already made. They have, it's just kind of a limited quantity. And I say limited because it's like, again, they aren't making more. So it can be kind of one of a kind or limited quantity or just kind of out of print stuff. So you can't always choose, like you can't always go, like if you're getting like new fabric, some places you go and you're like, I know I want this exact shade of blue in this material. Dead stock is like, here's the type of material we have. These are the prints we have. Take it or leave it.
Gotcha.
And so it's great because one, it previously forced me to buy just stuff that I probably wouldn't have known I wanted. It's like now I get to see. But anyway, I would browse the like wool knowing I want a suit eventually and was waiting for a blue wool because that's my favorite color and that's the one I want. And it's like, okay, I don't need it today, but if that's on sale and if it's the right color in the right amount, great, that I can pick up. When I make the suit will happen. I know I want to do that, but it's more like, okay, using this time to having this vision of what it looks like, but being able to then go to a space where it's like they have a sale. Oh, look, a blue wool that I really like showed up here. So
I'm getting it.
That's right. Yeah. And I know it's on the sale thing. So like sometimes it really is just holding possibility and like, I've got it. I can make it when I want to. I can, if I like focus, I can get it there, but it's easy. Cause again, I told you earlier, the hardest part about sewing in many ways is getting the things you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can start it, okay, I have the thing. Now I can come up with a plan. It works.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I've been sitting here like thinking, I'm like, how do I set the table for the next phase? And I think when I'm waiting, I'm definitely like popping in and, writing an episode or coming up with a character or like trying to keep within that space, especially if like I'm working on like epic. Like I'm like, okay, we'll bring in, maybe we bring up a new town or like some type of new culture or like I'll research like animation styles to keep the creative process going towards that project. But obviously I'm waiting for something else to happen. So I can't currently work on what I'm working on right now. And the process seems very similar to where it's like, this could be helpful down the line more so than like, this is going to help right now. But yeah, I feel very similar. Like, obviously I'm not like buying characters and who says I'm not yet. Like that's I'm sure that's a thing I need to like, maybe think about one day. But right now the like group or bulk purchase is definitely the ideas of just like creating a bunch of characters and then figuring out where they go and if they show up later, if they show up now. So that's how I've been using my like time to move on to the next phase.
No, that's great. I think what's one high value, low urgency task you keep on standby for these in between periods?
It's character profiles.
Nice.
Yeah, it's because it's easy. Let me say that it's simple. And I can kind of dive as deep as I need to while I'm waiting. So it's also feel like a task I can just kind of pop out when I need to go back to working on what I was working on. But it's like that. And it's profiles in general. So it's not just characters, it's weapons, it's cities, it's just building the world piece by piece, which allows me to be more mindful of the citizens of the world that we're building, regardless of what show we're working on.
For me, it tends to be digital organization of some sort, where it's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean out my desktop, or I'm going to like reorganize my files, or make sure that like the things that I needed, all these downloads are gone or moved or somewhere.
That's something I should be doing. I like that answer much better than what I'm doing.
That's fair. I like what you're doing too, but I am. So I think one of the things that I'm surprisingly disciplined about working from home is I try to batch sitting at my computer, like sitting at my computer time, so that like if I'm working at a computer, then that's what I'm doing. And then when I get up, I'm done, right? Like I try not to, I do have my iPad. I do like try to go, but I try to be like really clear about like if I'm at the computer, I'm doing work. And so it's helpful to do my digital organization if like I need to be like, if I'm logged into my work day and maybe I'm waiting for something, waiting for feedback, there's just a moment where I'm like not immediately active. It's like, okay, well, as opposed to getting up, because if I get up, I'm going to stop being focused. Right. So as opposed to getting up, I'm going to go through. It's like, okay, well, where are all the associated files for this thing? Have I put them all together? Like, where are all there was this email that was supposed to also go in this. Did I do that? Did I go through? And so then it's like, all right, let's go through the checklist. Did I finish everything? Did I check it all off? Because sometimes I'll do the thing and not necessarily check off the checklist, which I know can be anathema to some people, but it happens. So it's like, all right, I did all these things. I followed up. It's like, okay. And so then like my step really is, it's high value because it keeps me like clean digitally at the very least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it is kind of low urgency because sometimes it's like, okay, it's a thing that I don't need, but it gets me through the waiting period until there's like the next bit of feedback or the next bit of stimulus or response or thing I have to respond to. And it keeps my like digital life a little bit more clean?
I should probably do that more. I guess it's one of the first things I do in the morning is like kind of clean up all my temporary files and like do like a good scrubbing of my computer. But it's something I should like digital files. I absolutely need to go through and just like, okay, we're not using this anymore. Why is this here? This is just a Word document that has the on it. Like, why is this saving? Why is this just here?
Why is this here? I do love a good going through Google Drive and being like, untitled document, where you're just like, okay.
All of them.
Have nothing on them.
And it have nothing on it.
Date from 3 years ago. There's nothing on this document. Why is it still here? What is this untitled everything? I've done that, yeah. And so I try to get rid of those.
Yeah, that's the thing I need to do. I need to go through and do that. Oh, man. All right, we've done a lot of work, Harge.
We have.
Play Harge. How we feeling?
Yes,
on
play Harge.
Yes, play Harge.
Let's do it.
What's your favorite micro break ritual to reset your brain in under 10 minutes?
That's a good question. It's probably put on a song.
Ooh, yeah.
Probably just something, and I've said this, I think I said this last episode, but I'll say it again, in that like probably the harder, more serious the tasks, the more,
more
ridiculous the music, the more ratchet the music. I love, so it is probably some dumb song. So probably a song that I would not claim on the podcast, that I would be like, if anybody asked me,
Sexy
is that
Red.
the song you played? Right. It's not, I'm not, you know what? I don't know Sexy Red. I'm not going to say anything, but like, no, I'm going to admit it. But I recognize, okay, I'm going to say the song that I like, recognizing that I actually think T.I. is objectively kind of a bad person.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say that.
It's also fuck 12.
Forever, right?
Forever.
No, but I'm saying, and whatever. There are a variety, there are stories, there are reasons why. I don't know T.I. I've never met him, but my song is "Making Love to the Beat" from the Trojan Horse by Watch the Duck and T.I.
Yes, Watch the Duck.
That is probably, if there's a song that I just want, where I just need to be amped, where I just want like the energy. Also, I'm just admitting all the things today, apparently. I love petty music. Okay. Some of my favorite songs, the lyrics are people being objectively awful to each other in clever ways. Like, you know, like thinking about the dozens or whatever. And so Making Love to the Beat kind of hits all of my secret shame things because the story, the men portrayed in it are toxic, right? I want to be really clear.
Yeah.
There's a rant in the middle, which is, okay, look, I'm going to say, I think it's hilarious, but there's a rant in the middle in which T.I., at all inverse, all rapping, it cusses out the woman he's trying to see. And like, it starts that, well, fine, go hang out with that dude. I don't really want you anyway. And then the next line, she clearly like does. And then he gets really weird and possessive. And the switch is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild.
A great song, but it's wild.
And so, yeah, so that is one of my favorite micro break rituals, is finding just a song that I find humorous. Because, like, I will say my other song, I have several examples of songs like this, but like my other one is Prince's The Marrying Kind. I talk about this song a lot. And if you haven't heard The Marrying Kind, it's a great song. But the song is, in fact, Prince as a character. The story of the song is Prince talking to his friend, and his friend is about to break up with the friend's girlfriend. The friend is about to break up with his girlfriend, and Prince is telling the friend, "You are welcome to break up with her. This is how I'm going to date her when you leave."
Immediately.
You're going to break up with her, and then I'm going to go comfort her and tell her that I tried to talk you out of it. This conversation right here, the one we're having right now, I'm going to tell her about that to sleep with her. One of my favorite lines is, she's going to miss you at first, then she's going to buy me things. That's what Prince says.
Which is such
to
a
his friends.
baller ass fucking line.
Great. I love that song. I recognize its politics. are toxic. I want a name that like, so don't come for me talking about what I'm promoting or whatever. No, I'm not. But you want to know my real life favorite micro break ritual is to probably find a toxic song where somebody is being both clever and terrible on top of a dope beat with some excellent musicianship and getting amped. That like helps reset my brain in a minute. I think it's the overlay of like talent and foolishness. I think it's just the right. So there's a variety of things, but it is something that will like get me going because I think it's hilarious.
Overlay of talent and foolishness is easily one of my favorite things you've ever said. Easily.
The juxtaposition. Look, I know who I am. I y'all can judge me if you want to. All right.
Damn, that's funny.
What's your favorite micro break
ritual? I
don't
know, man. That was really good. My favorite thing is I enjoy. Again, I'm about to. I guess I'm also about to tell myself. I enjoy watching people play Call of Duty, specifically kind of angry white dudes playing Call of Duty. it kind of resets my brain.
We're over here just being secretly shameful. Just like don't nobody ask me this question.
I used to work as a quality assurance tester for Activision, so I played Call of Duty every day for like 2 years straight. It was a really great job. It was super hard, like on the body, but I really enjoyed it, and I got pretty good at Call of Duty. And I started watching people play. I got introduced into streamers playing Call of Duty. And for some reason, it just stuck. And like I watch the brothers play Call of Duty. I'm all in it. I give them the likes. I do all the things. But there's a couple white dudes I'll watch. And these bugs will get so mad. And I'm like, fantastic. Thank you. I'll watch around and then I'll go above.
Incredible.
And then I'll watch around and then I'll go back to my work or I'll have them on in the background. It's so funny to me. And I'm just like, you're so angry. It's a video game. This is coming from a person who has spent their entire life, their entire career, every waking moment has been to make a video game. And I'm like, but remember, guys, these are toys. They're toys.
Yeah, I think there's something about just like watching, letting them like witness their rage and be like, no, I don't feel that at all. That's good for you.
At all. That's why I'm not a good streamer, man. I lock in and I'll just get real quiet.
y'all, I want to hold your hand when I say this. I want to talk about because I love my brother. I want that to be very clear. I'm on record and I love his streams, but Tyrone is never less talkative than when he's trying to stream a video game. And it is the funniest thing to me because I think he can stream. I think we can figure it out. Who knows? And also, always comment. Let us know. Do you want us to have a stream? Because I think we could have a funny stream where Tyrone is playing a video game and then I'm making him explain some of the stuff to me.
That sounds fun. I could do that.
That would be a good time where I'm just like, okay, what is that? Why are they doing this? What's going on?
But the thing that's going to happen,
and I do understand video. I do understand video games. I want to be clear.
Courtney understands video games.
I'm not a gamer in the same level Tyrone is, but I'm also not. I'm definitely not a noob, right? But I do think that could be it. But it just cracks me up because I've known him his entire life, his actual whole life, and he is never quieter than when he's streaming. And I'm just like, people, you got to say something to the camera, bro.
Refuse. Just
Excellent.
Refuse.
Play it, and he's killing the video game. But I'm like, you have to say words. We need more words from you.
I don't know what happens. I just get there, and I think it's because gaming has always been an escape for me. So I've always consumed myself in the world that I'm playing in, and the same thing with film. Like that's why I can watch like a film that doesn't make any sense physics wise. Looking at you, Fast and Furious movies, and I can be like, oh great, physics doesn't exist in this world. That I can do that now. And some people can't do that. But gaming has always been a thing where it's like, I am now this person living in this world with this set of rules. And so I dive super into it and then I stop talking. But I realized you can't do that when you're streaming. because people want to hear you talk.
Look, it makes it funny if it, like, I will offer one of the things I'm bad at is I'm not a good improver if improv is what we're supposed to be doing. I think I'm a quick person, and like in real life, I am moving, shaking, whatever. And the second somebody's like, and again, and I'm a trained actor, and the second somebody's like, this is an improvisation scene, my body locks up. I have no idea what to do. I don't know what things mean. I don't know how to behave like a human anymore. Like and it's weird because, again, actor, put me on stage and or give me, like, it doesn't even have to be a script, but like give me a keynote, give me a topic. I can talk probably for 45 minutes around a thing, especially if I know about it. Probably 20 minutes if I don't know about it. I can fake it. But 45 minutes into an hour, I can go without breaking a sweat, right? But the second somebody is like, you're in a scene. Yes, and blah. And I'm like, I don't.
What are words?
What are words? What are hands? What do we do?
Staring at your hands.
I don't know what it is. So I will name, you're not the only one out here who just has a thing that they're like, that they kind of should be great at. Feels like you have all the tools.
I feel like I have all the tools. I enjoy talking. I love video games, and I get in there and I just clam up.
Yep. Nope. And yep. Nope. That's me. That's me in an actual improv scene. I can't. I don't get it.
It's good to know that it's hereditary then. So that's fine.
It is. Yeah. It's weird. We have different things. Maybe you should try improv and I should try streaming.
Hey, maybe we'll figure it out. Stupid. We're so stupid.
We are. Do we need? I feel really good about that.
Yeah. I think we can go ahead and hit you with them closing arguments, baby.
Closing arguments. Bum bum.
Not on my watch.
Yanla. So yeah, that has been Work Hard to Play Hard.
Yes.
This has been episode 7 of Hustling with Harges.
7 episodes.
7 episodes, y'all. Y'all have stuck with us. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you who are sharing, who are liking, who are commenting on our stuff. We really we're into it.
Yeah.
Also, if you're coming to us, this is the first time you're listening because you keep seeing our cartoon faces in your recommended listens. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Welcome to the family. We
appreciate it. Yes. We are having a good time. All right. Our next episode, we think we're going to talk about what it means, what's going to happen when we're balling out of control. It's going to be the Fantasy Island episode. All right. Lifestyles of the rich.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Right. You're going to full lifestyles of the rich and famous. What happens when we get the third yacht, right? We are just sky's the limit, right?
Oh, I'm so excited for this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Forget saying grounded in reality. We're going to talk about how do we, maybe sleep with somebody's husband so then he sends us to space. Who knows? What we're talking about?
Space sex.
Right. You know who I'm talking about. Y'all know.
I'm trying to get that $45 million penthouse on Central Park West.
Nice. Years ago, I don't even know if they still have this anymore, but I know they don't have Cribs anymore, but it was on Cribs.
I miss Cribs.
I do miss Cribs. And it was Ice-T and Coco on Cribs.
I remember this episode.
And Ice-T had a convertible pool.
Yeah.
You hit the thing and the glass doors went. And so if it was raining, it was an indoor pool. And when it wasn't raining, and it was an outdoor pool. And I have been thinking about that for decades.
Yeah.
Absolute decades. I can't even remember. I can't even find that video, but indoor outdoor pool is
the move, man.
It's just sits. You want to talk about a thing that just sits in my head one day.
It's going to happen.
One day.
It's going to happen.
So yeah, y'all want to be here for our next episode where we talk about balling out of control. Tyrone, want to share them socials?
You already know what time it is, man. Everywhere we are at Hustling with Harges. Everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, your mama house, everywhere. Okay.
Your step granddaddy house.
And your step granddaddy house.
Wendy's.
that play cousin that you know, everybody's favorite cousin.
Right. At the barbecue. We had to cook out, hustling with Harges.
Right. Rest in peace, Rib Shack, by the way. That's some Saginaw stuff for y'all.
From Saginaw, yes. Saginaw, hustling with Harges. Just every once in a while, just remember, if you're like, you know what? You know who should be here, hustling with Harges? We are. We're already there.
We're already there.
We're ready.
You don't have any social media? You can go ahead and email us. hustlingwithharges@gmail.com. Okay, we're there. Go ahead, hit us on the inbox. Have a nice signature.
Right. Let us know. Let us know how you feel. Let us know how you'll be balling out of control when we come back.
Yes.
2 weeks from now, talking about balling out of control.
Balling out of control. I'm so excited for this. I'm going to be ridiculous on that episode.
We're going to have a good time. Alrighty, y'all. It's been wonderful. Talk to y'all soon. Like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, tell everybody how great our podcast is.
Yes.
Because it is great. And you're having fun. So
we're having fun.
Talk to y'all soon.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.